British High Court judges have ruled that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange cannot be extradited to the United States to face espionage charges for now. Film producer Gabriel Shipton is Julian Assange's brother. Welcome to DW. We'll get to today's verdict in a moment. First of all, how is your brother?
Well, I went to visit him in the prison at the end of last month. And he's in a very delicate position health-wise. His health has been in decline for many years now. He's been in that prison for 5 years, a maximum security prison, with no end in sight to these ongoing legal proceedings. It is a punishment by process. He's not serving a sentence in the United Kingdom. He's not charged with any crime in the United Kingdom. He's been kept in a maximum security prison solely at the request of the US DOJ. And it's just heartbreaking seeing him there. It's really, he's my older brother, you know, and seeing him deteriorate and slowly waste away in a prison it's very distressing for our family. And
do you link the two events? Is his health deteriorating because of this legal ordeal?
Yes, and it's not just me who links these events. The UN Special Rapporteur on Torture, Nils Meler, took two doctors in to see Julian, independent doctors who are specialists in assessing torture, psychological torture, and they both found that Julian was suffering the effects of psychological torture, and that was in 2019. And his situation hasn't changed. We know that if he is released, he can get better. But the UN Special Rapporteur on Torture, Nils Meler, has called this a slow-motion murder before our eyes.
You've talked about his health declining. Can I ask you what's wrong with him?
As I just said, he's suffering the effects of psychological torture.
So how does that manifest itself? What are you seeing in him?
A physical deterioration, increased aging. He has aged very, very quickly. He has a depressive syndrome that comes and goes. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but these are what medical professionals have said about Julian, and they've also said evidence, expert witness testimony and evidence that was accepted at the magistrate's court that if he was to be extradited, it would lead to his death. So it's not just me who's saying these things. These are expert witnesses, expert doctors from the UN who are all saying that his health is very delicate and in decline.
Let's turn to today's High Court decision. Judges have ordered US authorities to provide assurances that your brother will not face the death penalty. So what's your reaction to today's decision?
Well, this is a relief that Julian's not on a plane to the United States today, but there is now a ticking clock for Julian. It is very limited. The court has recognised that he has the right to appeal on these points, that he will not receive the death penalty if he's extradited, but also that he is not discriminated against because he is not a US citizen, and that the First Amendment rights are extended to Julian. But what the court has said today, that they will accept a diplomatic note that says that Julian won't receive the death penalty and addresses the press freedom concerns.
Right.
And so it's a sort of double-edged sword in that sense. Julian's not been extradited, but the political nature of this case has been laid bare with the court saying they'll accept a political assurance from the United States addressing the appeal points without actually giving Julian another potential hearing. So it's a sort of, it's mixed feelings today.
Right. And if we can talk about the charges your brother is facing, he didn't leak anything, but he did publish leaked materials supplied by Chelsea Manning, who is now free. Why do you think your brother has been singled out?
Well, he's been made an example of, essentially. by the United States Department of Justice. A weaponized DOJ has gone after Julian to make an example of him, to send a message to all the other publishers and journalists around the world that if you publish this sort of leaked information, if you work with a source to publish this sort of information, that we can come after you, and it doesn't matter where you are. We can use our espionage law to reach into any country and put you in a maximum security prison indefinitely.
Okay.
And I think they've used this against Julian. If there wasn't a Julian Assange, they would have to invent one.
Right. Let me put to you
they weren't able to use
the arguments that will inevitably come out of this, and then rebut them if you would. If someone punishes state secrets that might endanger US operatives, then the government should pursue the leakers and everyone involved to the fullest extent because of the danger that that publication provides. Explain to us why that is wrong.
Well, I would ask the United States government to supply proof of the people that were put in harm's way, or anyone who came to any harm related to these leaks. I mean, what these leaks did show was concrete evidence of the US military killing journalists from a helicopter gunship. And so you have to balance these things, and ask for proof. Where is the proof that anyone came to any harm? The US has actually admitted under oath that they can find not a single person who came to any harm because of these leaks. And that was in the Chelsea Manning hearing. A former general was hired by the Obama administration to do research, and they spent $10 million looking for someone who was harmed by these leaks, and they couldn't find anyone.
Okay. Good talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us and walking us through that. Gabriel Shipton, film producer and brother of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. Thank you so much.
Thank you.